Good morning. I thought I'd show you some of the herbs I grow in my garden. These are the nice smelling plants that we use to cook, make soup or some sort of pasta dish or anything really. That's called rosemary. And then over here I have some thyme. I love thyme. Thyme is so pretty. It's got these tiny leaves. It looks like a miniature plant sort of. And then here I've got some sage, and sage is really pretty, and right now my sage is blooming. The leaves of sage are really kind of cool looking. They look like lizard skin. Isn't that neat? And then over here at my herb, what's that? I was just going to show you my thyme, my mint, which is right here, and I see something down behind the chives. Now chives are an herb too. You can use those in cooking. And look, here's a chive flower, but more importantly, I see a little living room. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Now, it looks to me like there's a family relaxing here. Or they were relaxing until I scared them away with my little tour of the garden. I see a few chairs. Where would you like to sit? If you were relaxing and eating cookies here, would you like to sit in this chair? I don't think I'd like to sit in that one. That one looks too hard. What about the other one, that red one there? Would you like to sit in that one? I don't know. There's so many pillows there, I might fall off. How about this other one here? How about the one with the little toys next to it right here? That one might be just right. So we've got one chair is too hard and one chair is probably a little too soft with all those pillows. But then we have another one that looks just right. Does that remind you of a story you've heard before? Reminds me of a story. Let's go inside and read it. I want to read to you from this book. This is a book with 3 stories in it, and each story has 3 characters. So I'm going to read to you The 3 Bears, and this is a fairy tale, which means it's a really old story. The 3 Bears is actually almost 300 years old, and so it's fiction, it's make-believe, because in real life we don't have talking bears. But I want you to think about 3 parts of a story while we're reading. I want you to think about the characters, that is, who is in the story. I want you to think about where the story is, that is the setting. And I want you to think about what happens in the story. That's the plot. Okay, I'm going to ask you at the end of the story. From Golden Books, 3 Bedtime Stories with illustrations by Garth Williams. The 3 Bears. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. A great big father bear, a middle-sized mother bear, and a little baby bear. They lived in a house in the forest, and every morning those 3 bears went for a walk while their porridge cooled for breakfast. One day a little girl, who was called Goldilocks because of her golden curls, went for a walk in the forest, and she came to the house of the 3 bears. Knock, knock, knock at the door went Goldilocks. But of course there was no answer, for the 3 bears were out for their walk. So Goldilocks went into the house. She saw 3 chairs. She sat in Father Bear's great big chair. It was much too hard. She sat in Mother Bear's middle-sized chair. It was much too soft. She sat in Baby Bear's little chair. It was just right, but the little chair broke in two. hungry I am," said Goldilocks when she saw the 3 bowls of porridge. She tasted the porridge in Father Bear's great big bowl. It was much too hot. She tasted the porridge in Mother Bear's middle-sized bowl. Ooh, it was much too cold. She tasted the porridge in Baby Bear's little bowl. It was just right, and Goldilocks ate it all up. Then up the stairs went Goldilocks to take a nap. She tried Father Bear's great big bed. It was much too hard. She tried Mother Bear's middle-sized bed. Ooh, it was much too soft. She tried Baby Bear's little bed. It was just right. Goldilocks lay down in it and fell fast asleep. Then home came the 3 bears. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," said Father Bear in a great big voice. "And someone's been sitting in my chair," said Mother Bear in a middle-sized voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair," said Baby Bear in a little baby voice, "and now my chair is broken." "Someone has been tasting my porridge," said Father Bear in a great big voice. "And someone's been tasting my porridge," said Mother Bear in a middle-sized voice. "Someone has been tasting my porridge," said Baby Bear in a little baby voice, "and someone has eaten it all up." Then up the stairs they went. "Someone's been lying in my bed," said Father Bear in a great big voice. "And someone has been lying in my bed," said Mother Bear in a middle-sized voice. "Someone has been lying in my bed," said Baby Bear in a little baby voice. "Someone is still there." Then Goldilocks woke up and saw the 3 bears. She got such a fright that she jumped right up and ran down the stairs, out of the house, and into the forest. And Goldilocks never went back to that little house again. Before I read this story, I asked you to think about 3 parts of a story. I asked you to think about who is in the story. We call them characters. I asked you to think about where the story is. We call that the setting. And I asked you to think about what happens in the story. We call that the plot. First of all, let's think about who is in the story. Now I'm turning to this page because we can see all the characters in the picture here. We have 4 characters in this story. We have Goldilocks, and then we have 3 bears. We have a family, a mom, a dad, and a baby in this particular family. All right, let's think about the setting. That's where it happens. You can see there's a bunch of trees, and you can see here there is a little home, and that's the bear's home. So the setting is in the forest in the bear's home. The characters are Goldilocks, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. The setting is the bear's home in the forest. Okay, the third thing I wanted you to think about was the plot. That means what happens. So this is a little bit longer. We have a little girl who goes into a house that is not her house. And she goes and sits on chairs and eats porridge and goes to fall asleep in somebody else's bed. And then when they come home, she gets scared and runs away. So that's the plot. We have a beginning, middle, and end to the plot. She goes in. She makes herself at home. That means she does everything she wants to do. And then when the owners of the home come home, she leaves in a big hurry. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the fairy tale, The 3 Bears. I'm going to talk about a different version of the three bears tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon.